together this presentation today because when we put our rates up, and we try to put our rates up with our clients annually, and sometimes it's every 18 months, but quite regularly. And every time we do that, I'm quite surprised at the fact that we never get pushback. So we never get clients call up or email to say, I'm moving on when we put our rates up. But on the contrary, we tend to get emails and phone calls thanking us after our rates go up. It's quite surprising, and it's been consistently over the last few years. So over the years, people have asked me, how do we manage that? And I've shared my email template with people many times. So I thought I'd put together a presentation just to explain how we do it, what our email template contains, and some of the business conditions that are very conducive to being able to successfully put your rates up, be thanked by your clients, and also not lose any clients, but rather gain by putting your rates up. So let's have a look at what's involved. So the big question is, why should you raise your fees? As a bookkeeping business, as a business advisory business, why should you put your fees up? So we have some obvious answers here, but one thing that I'd like to impress upon you is that as an advisor, professional image is everything. You want your image with your clients to be good. You want it to be such that they don't even consider going to somebody else. Well, I once had a friend who's a mortgage broker, and he was telling me that he needed to buy a black Mercedes because everybody who's looking for a mortgage broker wants somebody who's really doing well off. So he borrowed the money to get a black Mercedes to look like he was doing well off so that they could also be well off. So you need to remember that people coming to you as an advisor, they're looking at how you run your business. You need to improve your professional image. And how does raising your fees do that? Well, interestingly, if you raise your fees regularly, systematically, and incrementally, you become more professional in the mind of your clients. They see you running your business very well, and they want to be a part of that. So one of the reasons to raise your fees is to raise your professional image as a qualified and professional advisor. We all have increased costs. Every year, your costs are going to increase. They're going to be labor costs, software we know increases annually. You have utility costs that increase, and there are various other costs. So you do need to raise your fees. You absolutely do. And if you're not raising your fees while your costs are increasing, it's going to affect your profit and the saleability of your business. You want to grow your business the same way your clients' businesses grow. So your aim in your business should be to help your clients grow. And if they're growing, they're going to be getting bigger. Their transaction base will be getting bigger. Therefore, you'll be needing to do a bit more work, and your business will also grow. On the other hand, remember that as your businesses grow, you should be growing your business at the same time, and raising your fees is part of that. You may have had increased compliance over the past 12 months. So the government may have increased what you need to do for your clients, which has also increased the costs as well. Not only have you had increased compliance, you've got to remember that in the next 12 months, you don't know what's coming. And potentially there is more compliance increases on the way. So if you don't increase your fees, you're finding that it's affected your bottom line over the past 12 months, but potentially is going to increase the losses that you might be making. You might be happy with a certain profit and you may be getting by, but really, is that growing your business? So think about the fact that you did have increased costs, but there are more coming down the track. And planning ahead for the next 12 months, you may find that a small increase to the fee base may, if you work that out over 12 months, may look like a lot. And you might be wondering how you can justify that now. But in 12 months, when you look back, I can almost guarantee that you will understand why you did it and that that increase was absorbed and quite understandable. Let's look at the right foundation, because before you can send out your fee increase emails to your clients, you have to have the right foundation. It's something that causes quite a lot of anxiety for business owners putting their rates up. It's across the board, whether you're a bookkeeping business or a consulting business or you're a supplier, wholesaler. Putting your rates up is quite nerve-wracking. So having the right foundation is very, very important. Understanding why you're doing it, what you're doing, and then understanding your value proposition will underpin your email, and it will also underpin everything that you do and everything that you say. So let's look at the right foundation here. First of all, what does your fee structure look like? Are you currently on hourly billing or are you doing value pricing? You can put your rates up whether you're billing by the hour or on value pricing. However, it's very important for you to know right now where you're at with your fee structure and where you want to be. If you're currently hourly billing, you should be on value pricing if you're a bookkeeping business. And there are many reasons for that. And there are also very many value adds to your business for doing that. I suggest you watch one of the sessions on moving to value pricing. If you're not, have a look at what you're currently doing. Everyone needs a statement to work towards. Have you got a mission statement? If you haven't got one, you need to have one. And this is very, very important because it will guide the way you run your business. It will underpin the way you answer questions when clients call you. When they say, hey, what should I do here? You're going to be thinking in the back of your mind, what is my purpose for this client? What should I be doing for them and how? So have a look at your vision and mission statement and live up to your vision. Regularly check in with it. Are you improving along the way to obtaining that mission and vision over the last 12 months? What have you done to achieve that? And what are you going to do to achieve that in the next 12 months? So what is your business image to your clients now? How do you look to them? Basically, what do they say about you? So if someone were to call your clients and say, oh, I hear that you're working with XYZ business, what are they like? What are that client going to say about you? I'm sure you already know, most of us know what they say about us, how they feel about us. It's very important that you understand that and that you're happy with that vision and that impression that they have about you. What is the thing that you do that sets you apart from other advisors? There has to be a point of difference, and you need to know what that is, because if you're not clear on your point of difference, the client won't be either. If you are clear and you will then communicate that, whether that's inferred or obvious, you will be communicating that throughout your communications with your client because you understand your point of difference. What you ideally want is that you're so clear on your point of difference that your clients are also clear on your point of difference, that when someone says, hey, how is it working with XYZ business? They say, oh, they're fantastic because they do this for me. Whereas other bookkeepers don't do that. So you need to have a point of difference. You need to have a good business image to your clients. If you don't know what that is, or if your image is bad, potentially it's been because you've got too many clients, you're not keeping up, you're too overworked, and you might know that, hey, you've dropped the ball a little bit over the past 12 months. It's okay, because it's never too late to change. That's very important. You can change any of this. You can get a mission statement, you can work towards it, put it up on the wall, change the way you do things so that you're working towards that. You can decide you're going to move to value pricing. And you can also make some key changes about how you are perceived by your business and the service that you give them. Because at the end of the day, We want to be indispensable, irreplaceable business advisors. You're not going to get poached by a client's accountants. You're not going to get poached by another bookkeeper, because if you have a point of difference and if you are invaluable to your client, and you need to be, because you invest so much time in it. So what you want to do is sit down and work out what your image is like. And if it needs improving, you know what? Hold off on your fee increase for a few months even. Work on improving your business image in the past few months so that when you put your rates up, people are very, very happy for you to do so. Let's have a look at the formula that we use that gets thank yous. This is the formula that we found works whether you are putting your rates up after a very long time or you're doing it annually. There is a way to do it that people will actually appreciate what you're doing. First thing you want to do is have a report that you know exactly for all of your clients when they started, what their fees were when they started, and every single increase. You need to know on that report. So if you haven't got one, set one up. Before you start, you have to have this. Set up this report so that you know exactly how many fee increases your clients have had and when and what they were, because you need that for the confidence to increase their fees. If you don't know this, it's very, very important that you find out, because the other thing that you need on this increase report is you need to know whether you've actually made money in the past 12 months on this client or not. So a lot of people move from hourly billing onto value pricing and they don't track whether they've actually made or lost money on that job. But you need to know that, because if you don't know, how are you going to know what to increase them? So what we do is every month we track the actual costs, the fixed hourly cost, the number of hours that we worked on a client, and then we work out whether we've made a profit or a loss on those jobs. And we do a report every single month, and we can see a pattern. We had some clients who had jumped up quite a bit, like 50% increase in turnover from something like 5 million to over 10 million. So it's quite a lot and a lot of transactions. And we knew that scope creep was happening because we were tracking that every month. So we knew that we were not only not making a profit anymore, we were making a loss. So when the fee increase came, it was quite substantial. Then we have other clients who we've been able to improve efficiency over, and we actually didn't give them a fee increase at all because their efficiency was good. The profit had actually gone up because we had improved efficiency. So you need to know before you start. Then you need to create a customizable email template. What we're going to do is show you what that looks like and how you can create one. And then you can then customize it for every client that you have and make small changes before you send it out. With your email template, you want to start positive. So you start with, hey, hasn't it been a great year? These are some of the things that we've seen, the challenges that have been overcome the past 12 months. You can talk about some of the growth they've experienced or the systems that you've been able to help them improve on. You want to be a little bit positive about the last 12 months. What's been achieved? You want to list then any major changes and improvements that you've noticed over the past 12 months or has been happening in the economic climate. For example, in the past 12 months, there may have been compliance increases, legislative changes. The client will be aware of some of these improvements that have happened over the past 12 months. They'll be aware that you change things for the better. So you want to mention some of these things that have happened, only major ones. The next you want to do is list some of your reasons for the fee increase. You want to mention that you're actually going to increase their fees because either you've had an increase in your own costs, it might be something that you planned to do every year, and also you want to ensure that your service to them is going to be amazing over the next 12 months. So this is just a couple of reasons. You then got to advise them what they're currently paying, what they're going to be paying, and the date that this will take place. So if you have a client who hasn't had an increase in the past 12 months, or it's been more than 12 months, maybe been a few years, you might want to mention at this point that your last increase was on this date. That will certainly help your cause. Then after you've done that, so you really got to the crunch of it and you've told them they're going to get a fee increase and this is what it will be and it will start on this date, you want to then talk about what's coming up, because you want to help them to understand that these fee increases are very important because things are coming up that are going to benefit them. So you want to talk about software improvements that are coming, changes to compliance potentially. They might be aware of some major change that we know is coming in the past 12 months and you're going to help them through that. Anything else particularly that you're aware of that the client will resonate with will be very helpful. And finally, you want to finish strong, sure, and you want to make sure that the client understands your value proposition. You want to thank them for being a great client. And you want to tell them that there are some positive things coming up and we're looking forward to working with you over the next 12 months. So what I might do is at this point, I'll just read to you our most recent increase letter. This is an email that went out in June and it was for normally we do it every 12 months. However, this one was 18 months because of COVID. So we spread it out another 6 months. It's important to note that our emails have gotten smaller every year. So where our first one was quite a bit longer and a little bit more detailed, the clients now know they're going to get this every year. So they're quite used to it. So this is what we sent out. Good afternoon, client. Hope you are doing well. We have seen a lot of changes over the past 18 months in the economic climate that affects business. It's very encouraging that so many of our clients' businesses have been able to diversify, adapt, and continue throughout the struggles of 2021 and 2022. You have done very well to be on top of all of this. So that's our positive intro. We're now going to talk about why we need to put the rates up. We have had our own cost increases, as have all businesses, and we need to add a small increment to your business support package to ensure the services we provide remain as relevant and accessible as possible. There are no greater increases than normal to your package, and we have not increased the rate since March 2021. From 1 July 2022, your weekly business support package will increase from X per week to X per week plus GST. So that's the crux of it. We've gotten to it pretty quickly and easily. Now we go on to talk about what we've done, what we're going to do. So what have we added since last year? You may have noticed a change to your monthly reports. Xero added in some business metrics we have included to help you see a more graphical picture of your business finances. On the months that your account is up to date, these reports should have been coming through. Please try to update regularly to allow regular reporting. We have also partnered with HR Central to provide backup for HR and payroll legislation interpretation. This option adds another layer to your advice, read payroll and human resources. A wonderful new addition to our software stack has been Dex Precision with Dex Prepare, which you are already using. This tool is run over your Xero file every month to find any duplicate transactions and check the validity of all current ABNs and their GST status. Any issues detected are corrected, which provides an extra level of accuracy. Dex Precision also offers us a range of reports we include in the monthly reports sent out to you. We appreciate your continued support. Look forward to helping you with anything that comes up for 2022 and beyond. So that is our sample letter. You can see that it starts positive, it ends positive. In the middle, we have the basis of it, which is that your fees are going up and this is the date. And then we also talk about some of the things we've done and some of the things we're going to do that we've included in these fees and we haven't charged extra for them. So we're justifying it in a way. We're also reinforcing to them how incredible we are as a service provider. And look at what we've done for you. And look at the great reports that you're getting. And look at how we're on top of the changes that are coming. We're on top of what's happening out there. We are up to date with the new stuff, and we are going to help you with whatever comes in 2022. So a couple of things to mention here as we go just in finalizing this presentation is just to remember to try and keep it brief. It's very tempting in sort of anticipating anxiety over the whole thing to go a little bit too long. But if you do that and your email is very long and very detailed, they're not going to read it, and they'll jump straight to the bit where the dollar signs are because they're easy to find. And what will happen then is they won't read the intro on the end, and they might ring you and say, what? You're putting my rates up? You didn't read my email. So try and be brief if you can, all right? Remember, you don't have to put everybody's rates up every year. You have to go through, and that spreadsheet will help you. You have to go through and identify which ones need to be increased. We didn't put everybody's rates up this year, and we never do. We put most of them. So we would probably put 80% of the rates up every year. However, this year and every year, there's one or two clients that you know might be winding up the business. There's no point. We had one we think is possibly not going to make it this year because they have so many debts and they're just not keeping up with cash flow. We didn't put their rates up. So very few skip a rate increase, and that's okay. That's okay. And the other thing that's okay is to put the rate up off cycle, which we have also done. So if you notice scope creep and you have a client who has really grown really fast, or they have put on so many new staff that they're kind of not actually making money anymore, you can do that off cycle. Customize your email for everybody. Make sure that it's customized to them, so you can pull some wording out for some and add some new wording into others. You may have found that one client in particular needed help with an audit, for example, and you can put in there that we helped you with that, or that we identified an issue that your previous bookkeeper had done and we saved you $110,000. You're certainly able to customize in that way. Now, this one's important. You do not need approval to put your rates up. You don't need it. You don't have to ask them to respond back, because an email is a business contract. So when you send that email and you've told them, putting it up, this is the date, give them a good 4 weeks notice, whatever it is you want to do. Don't say, can you email back your approval, or I need a signature? You don't need it. You don't need it. You're putting your rates up, and that's quite good enough, and it's quite okay. We had, actually, before I go into that, the final one is very, very, very important. You need to know your value proposition. You need to know that you are a great service provider. And because of that, you should be adequately remunerated. It all comes back to your professional image. It all comes back to being that number one service provider that cannot be replaced, that never has to worry about being poached. We have one of our clients is in the building and construction industry, called me a couple of months ago, and having massive cash flow problems. And I said, look, you need to put your rates up, because as probably everybody around the world during COVID, costs have all increased, raw materials have increased, and the building and construction industry particularly impacted by all these increases. He goes, I know, but I can't. I feel like I'm going to lose clients if I do that. And, people don't want us to put our rates up, and I just can't do it. I don't know. And I said, well, what are you worried about? Because I'm worried about losing clients. And I said to him, are you a great service provider? Don't you do a great job? And he said, yeah, we do a great job. We're fantastic. We're always there on time. I go, well, then you shouldn't be worried about that. Because what I want you to know is that good service providers look after their own business as well. And I asked him this. I said, let me ask you something. When we put our rates up last month and you got that email, did you want to go and find another provider? He goes, no. I said, why? And he goes, because you guys are great. You do a great job and we love you. And, we're just so happy with the service. I said, well, there you go. So if I hadn't put my rates up, you would not appreciate so much the service that I have done, because I'm setting the example for you. I'm telling you, you need to do that the way we need to do that. You need to offer a great service to your clients. You need to be adequately remunerated, and you need to understand that the perception to your clients is also as important as the service that you provide. So that's a bit of a wrap up there on how to put your rates up. Do it confidently. Understand the value you bring. Make sure your clients understand that. Every now and then remind them what a great job you're doing. And just understand the value that you provide. I think that pure bookkeeping, for me, that was one of the most valuable things that I got out of the program, is understanding and knowing my value and not being ashamed to express that value to others, particularly to clients. If you don't know how valuable you are, they won't value you either. To the value that you put on your business is what you're worth. And at the end of it, when you put your rates up and you've explained what a valuable service you provide, they won't just be happy. They will email you and call you to thank you for putting your rates up.